23 illegals found stuffed in the cab of a semi-truck sleeping compartment. Driver doesn't have a CDL. Is anybody shocked? Let's talk about it. All right, guys, let's take a little noise break here with the Chad Prather Show and get into this story. Before we do, I want to tell you about my friends over at Birch Gold. Text CHAD, I spell it Chad, to 989898. They'll send you a free, no-obligation information kit on how you can diversify your future retirement with a tax-sheltered IRA backed by physical gold. So don't lay awake at night wondering what the stock market's doing and your 401ks all over the place while the dollar's being devalued. Let Birch Gold help you. A-plus rating with a Better Business Bureau. They will take care of your future retirement plans with an IRA backed by gold. Text Chad right now. Do it. Text Chad to the number 989898 and let them take care of your future. All right. You see a story like this, and every one of us ought to stop and just kind of think, where have we gone off the rails? 23 human beings. Let me say it another way. Image bearers of God, they're stuffed in the back of the sleeping compartment of this truck. You see the video here where Texas trooper is pulling them over. Here's a guy on the side of the road. He doesn't have a CDL. He doesn't have a license. Thanks, California. And I don't even know this whole story, but I bet you this guy started driving that truck somewhere around California. Who knows anymore? But he's got the truck. He's trying to get somebody on the phone. He's trying to show them his phone. He's got nothing there. He's got no license. He's operating the truck. But that's not the worst of it. We've already seen people who've lost their lives recently on the highways of America because you got a driver who's not qualified to be driving the thing. But that's not the worst part of this story. No, they bring out a canine dog. Canine dog looks into the semi. They're arresting this guy for not having the proper license of driving the truck. Well, he knows he's cooked because now the canine dog comes out. Guess what the canine smells? Human beings. 23 to be exact. Now, they're alive, stuffed in the sleeping compartment of the cab of this semi-truck. Let it play. And
I can't reach. Open that. Yeah. Que no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan, no se muevan, están todos rodeados. Get more out.
It's horrible. And so we're looking at people here, 23 crammed in there. And we've heard this so much, we've seen it so much, that we're thinking, what's the big deal? What's the big deal here? Well, I'll tell you the big deal. This is not an accident. This is what happens when lawlessness is allowed to grow without any restraint whatsoever. See, I want to just tell you, because this is a perspective we miss. The Bible, the Scripture, that thing that really should be a guiding principle in our life, sort of like it was for our founding fathers. It teaches us that God gives us civil authority, this thing called leadership, for a very clear purpose. Romans 13 says that leaders exist in order to reward what is good and to punish what is evil. Why are we letting evil like this run amok in our country? Because we don't have leaders that are doing their job that's ordained by God. They refuse to do that. So you got, in this case, border laws that are being ignored. You got enforcement that's weakened to the point where you don't recognize it. You don't get compassion. This is exploitation. You get human beings being treated like cargo instead of like souls. You got criminal networks that are turning migration into a marketplace of suffering. I mean, look at this. What you just saw is ridiculous. The fact that this has, and you got people in Washington, D.C., and in our individual state houses that are arguing for the rights for these things to happen. You say, well, if we just had a more clear immigration policy, then they wouldn't be stuffed in the back of a truck. We have an immigration policy. We have laws. Obey them. These people are not interested in it doing it easier. They're just going to do it the way they've always done it because we haven't enforced it. They know the loopholes. Proverbs 24 warns us not to look away from those who are being led toward harm. What are we doing? We're leading people further into harm. 23 people. They're from Nicaragua, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras. They're from Mexico. The only reason they found them is because the Border Patrol K-9 caught the scent. Without that, this truck could have crossed multiple states while human lives are suffocating in the dark. And that's what unchecked borders, political cowardice, and moral confusion tend to produce. Now, I'm calling for vigilance in all of this stuff because I'm sick of seeing these stories. Calling for vigilance, that's not hatred. It's obedience to what God's called us to do. You can't claim to care about the sojourner. How many times is that, the foreigner that's in your land? Really, is that you can't claim to care for them while you're empowering the predators who are smuggling them. You can't love your neighbor while allowing a system to go unchecked where the vulnerable get packed into trucks and abandoned in fields, left in stash houses, or burn up in the back of a cargo hold. Justice requires order. Compassion requires truth. A nation that abandons both invites disaster upon itself, and that's what we're doing. So, yeah, you know what? I think the compassionate thing is we do need immigration checks at every single truck stop, every single transit point. Shine a light on every hidden compartment. Disrupt every trafficking route. But you're going to start profiling people. Okay. Well, it's the same people that keep doing it. You know, stereotypes actually do find their basis in fact. But all I'm asking is, can we please, political leaders, elected leaders, delegated representatives, could you do the job that God assigned for governing authorities to do? Because righteousness actually protects while lawlessness destroys. I'm going to tell you about the deeper crisis in a second if you'll hang with me. But first, let me tell you about the equity in your home. It's being targeted. You want to talk about criminal activity? One of the biggest, fastest growing cyber crimes in America today is your home title theft. Criminals go online, they find your title, they print it off, they sign it, they get a fake notary, they take it to the courthouse, and now they are the rightful legal owners of your mortgage. They take out loans against your equity. You don't even know what's happening until those collections notice or foreclosure notices show up. It's one of the fastest growing crimes today. I want to get you a free trial at Home Title Lock, HomeTitleLock.com/Chad Prather. Use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad at HomeTitleLock.com. You'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title records, urgent alerts to any changes that could happen. And if fraud occurs, they will spend up to $1 million to fix it. You do not want to live without Home Title Lock. If you are a homeowner, you may already be a victim. Find out at HomeTitleLock.com. They'll give you that report. Remember to use promo code CHAD at HomeTitleLock.com. All right, here's the deeper crisis. It's not the truck. It's not the CDL. It's not even the people stuffed in the back. It's the spiritual condition of a nation that refuses to guard its own gates. I'll say it. You could call me a xenophobe or hateful or whatever. I'm telling you, that's the problem. We're not guarding our own gates. Proverbs says righteousness exalts a nation, but sin brings disgrace. So when a country forgets this, evil's going to fill the vacuum. Innocent lives are going to pay the price. We got to pray that God will raise up leaders again in this country, people with courage who are willing to stand against the fray and the flow. Pray for truth to get recovered and understand that compassion without truth, that's a mockery. It's not real compassion. It's not real love at all. We got to pray that America wakes up. These stories right here are becoming so normal that we stop even being shocked by them. This is Texas. I'm giving you a biblical warning in this moment because it's easy to say, just deport, 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 deport. And I'm in agreement. America first, America only in regards to that. And you know what? We do have to stop this. But the issue is not the person from Nicaragua or Guatemala or El Salvador or Mexico who's coming across the board. The issue is a spiritual one because we have fundamentally changed our worldview to believe that laws are bad and borders are wrong. And that's simply not true. So what I'm giving you, my friends, is very compassionate call to action. We got to stop this. We got to shine the light on it. And this has got to be eradicated before. Thank God lives weren't lost in this. But it wouldn't be the first time they had because we've seen the horror stories before. Pray for our country, folks. That's the call to action. Listen, I love you guys. Make sure you're tuned in Tuesdays and Thursdays for the full episodes of the Chad Prather Show. Keep up with us on these noise breaks that we do throughout the day. And don't forget about Before the Noise at 8/7 Central each weekday morning here on Rumble or YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching. It's going to be there live. So I love you guys. God bless you. Hit that little subscribe button. Share it. Like it. All that stuff. I just gave you a biblical worldview. That's how you look at it. I'd say you're welcome, but I think it was just the right thing to do. Pray for our country. We need it. I'm praying for you. You pray for me. I love you. God bless. Till next time. Bye.